Old but gold, Nana Champon there with Casanova. Still in Heritage Month, celebrating everything Ghanaian, and of course our music, a key part of who we are, and it's what makes us enjoy ourselves and relax as much as we can. It's Wednesday. This is Breakfast on GTV, and it's time for us to spend more time with the Minerals Commission. Last week, we discussed some new investments in the sector and how they are being financed. Today, the CEO of the Minerals Commission, Mr. Martin Kokois, is back, and he will be educating us on some critical minerals. Mr. Isi, good morning. Welcome back.
Morning.
We talked about some new investments that have come up in this mining space, and you promised to show us some pictures of some before and after, because I asked you, these new investments that come in, translating into billions of dollars, how do the communities where these mines are located benefit from some of these things? And you said you've learned your mistakes from what happened in the past, and you are determined to do better, and you've actually started.
Yes.
So you came bearing evidence.
Yes. So morning. And then morning to viewers and listeners. I brought the pictures.
Okay.
So I have before.
So this community you're about to show us is called
Buin. Actually,
Buin?
they even Buin, and then they also call it Accra Old Town.
Which region is this?
This is in Talensi district.
Okay.
Where Kaduna is constructing the mine now. So this particular settlement had to be resettled elsewhere.
Okay.
So we have pictures of how the place, looks
Was
like.
before?
And then
Okay, so let's put those on.
Yes.
And then let's have a look at what Mr. Isi is looking at, because this community, which some people refer to as Accra Old Town in the, is it Upper
East.
Upper East region.
Talensi district, Upper East.
Okay. So they are a community that had to be relocated to another place because of the sighting of a mine. And what we're seeing now is what, Mr.
So this is how the place looks like. Okay? They are even green than those of us in Accra here. And then you see the scattered settlements, mainly made of what we call in local parlance atakpame. One or two blocks here and there. Wooden structures, atakpame and all those things. And they barely had any of those social amenities. So this is a new one.
This is what was constructed.
And this is what was built for them.
So what's in there?
Oh, you can see the houses were laid out, and this time we insist on room for room. So if I had Atakpame 6-7 rooms, you know them, 3-4 wives or so many children, he will get the same. So that is there. They have electricity now. You see it's properly laid out. They are fixing the road, some clean it, garbage stuff and all those things. And the mining company will take care of everything there. They have social amenities, schools, and all those stuff there. They'll be providing them medical facilities.
Okay.
Yes.
But are there schools cited?
Of course. All those things are provided.
So there's a school, there's a market, there's a hospital.
Anything that will make their life better is all provided. That is it. And the company will maintain the place for them. Apart from that, some of them will be working in the mines. And then there are plans to develop agriculture, irrigation agriculture for them. So at least this is an improvement. They have light, they have water, with the polytanks, everything, some cleaning. The company will pay for the medical doctor who will be there or the nurse to take care of them. I was surprised they even have garbage bin and all those things well designed. Better, you don't even have some at GBC here. Okay? I didn't see. They have all those things. The company will
just
maintain
keep them in a place out of sight.
And just look at the layout. Look at the layout, properly laid out. The roads are being done and all those things. They've actually moved. I went there with minister, so this is not picture.
So they're actually living in these
they have moved. I went there several times and be sure. And normally, before minister goes to commission any project, the first thing you will say is that, Martin, are you ready? I said, yes. Have you checked X, Y, Z? So I've been there. I went there with also my board members, and we checked to make sure that, because if he goes there, he's not a type who embarrass you publicly, but he'll just call and say, but I didn't like this, I didn't see this, that's why I asked you. So I went there myself, double check and make sure that at least the basics are there. So that is that. Beautifully constructed houses. And you don't just start constructing and no, you have to first, the land where they will move to, they have to decide. there's a negotiation committee, and the assembly is involved, the chiefs, everything. You have to discuss this with them, and they have to endorse that you are moving them from here to here. They have to agree. And then the design of the houses, the district planning committee, everybody must endorse it. So they have water. They have electricity, they have toiletries and all those things where they'll keep their garbage. I was surprised. They did all that for them.
It's like a little mini town.
Yes. It's not everybody. The area that is supposed to be affected, they move them. Now, the next thing is that some will get jobs at the mine, but then we also, because the mainstay there is agriculture or farming. So those who want to do agriculture, the company will support them with seedlings, will plow the land and do all those things. They've brought the plan, so we're going to do that.
Is there an expectation of growth, a population growth?
Yes.
And so if the town got bigger, has that been factored into?
All those things are factored in during the planning stage. Because you cannot say, because you're 100 and you are resettling 100 for now. You have to make room for expansion.
How many families are we thinking?
I will have to check the data and let you know next week.
Okay.
At least this is better.
So this is what you intend to do going forward for all the mining companies that are now being established?
But the community will have to decide. It's not everywhere that will require relocation. Telma, let me say this. Relocation is only necessary, or resettlement, howsoever described, becomes necessary, one, if it is too close to the mine, or if during the environmental impact assessment, it is such that they will be impacted, that will require that they move for health reasons and other reasons, then Minerals Commission EPA will insist that you have to resettle the community. So they had to do this, finish, move the people before they started the construction of the mine, which is ongoing. And there's a negotiation committee. The chiefs are there, the community is there, the company is represented, Minerals Commission is involved, the district assembly is involved, the plan of the building, so they have to agree, and the district planning committee will have to endorse it. So if the assembly doesn't approve this, the commission don't approve this, you can't go ahead. Before it will come to MINCOM, it will go to minister, and then the construction will start.
It looks like a little mini town with a ring road.
Yeah,
very peaceful. Yes. We hope that we see more of these where they are needed. But today
I think there's a video, but then it was too big.
Okay.
So maybe next week I'll try and see whether we can get that, and then we can run that.
Okay.
So that once you have this your Pra River thing here that Kafi keeps talking about, then doing
we are very concerned. Today is World Water Day.
Yes, Water Day. Then doing your whilst you are waiting for other programs to, then the video will be rolling. So I'll try and get it, because they sent these things to me yesterday.
Okay.
So I'll get a video, and that gives us a better view of the situation on the ground.
We'll be happy to see it. But here today we are going to talk about critical minerals. Last week we touched a bit on those, and I had lithium and all that we can use some of these things to do. So what are critical minerals? What's in that category? Telma,
thank you. Let me start this way. You see, I think you've heard about climate change. Now, if the world doesn't do anything or we don't act, we risk destroying ourselves. So what it simply means is that we need to change some of the things we do that are responsible for this climate change. The experts will tell you that we need to keep the global temperature below 2 degrees. I think the ultimate is 1.5. Now, to do that, you need to change the main sources of energy. Because if you look at the data, what is causing all this climate change and pollution is the kind of energy we use. Dirty fuel, fossil fuel, petroleum, coal in particular, which is the dirtiest. So China burns a lot of coal. There are 200 coal-fired stations in US. South Africa is primarily coal, Australia coal. India, they use a lot of coal. So those things are the things that are responsible for climate change. I think we've all agreed that is not debatable, even though some people still want to debate it. So what it simply means is that the world has agreed to move to cleaner sources of energy. Now, to do that will require cleaner sources of technology. Okay? So, for instance, part of the pollution is traced to these vehicles we use that run on petrol. So people are now moving to electric vehicles. So let me give you a few statistics. UK says that by 2030, 7 years from now, they will phase out the use of these combustion vehicles. That means they will not use petrol and all those things or gas for their vehicles. So they have to move to electric vehicles. EU is 2035. So that means by 2035, if they stick to their goal or plan, by 2035, you will not have these internal combustion engines again that rely on petrol and diesel and all those things as you do in Ghana here. It's so close. 7 years UK, 12 years for EU. Now, take China, which is the biggest car market. They are saying also 7 years by now, 2030, at least 40% of all car sales should be electric vehicles. Biden administration in US, the same thing. All new vehicles, at least. They are also aiming at, like 7 years from now, they are also looking about at least half. So that is a state of play for electric vehicles. And then when it comes to going to cleaner source of energy, you need more wind turbines, solar, etc. Now, these electric vehicles and these so-called wind turbines and all these renewable energies require a lot of minerals. So that's how come it comes in now. So they are so critical. So for instance, a typical electric vehicle will require 6 times more mineral inputs than a conventional car we know of. If you take a wind turbine onshore, 9 times more minerals for it, to put in those things than the typical, the same, if you like, gas-fired, power plant, same capacity. Do you understand? So, as the world moves towards cleaner energy, we also require cleaner technologies. And then these technologies will require these minerals now. So that's why they call them critical minerals. Some call them energy transition minerals. Others also call them green minerals. So that is it. And I can list close about 10 or more. And then we will look at the situation in Ghana. So, for instance, a critical one is lithium. Then there is also nickel, there is cobalt, vanadium, zinc, copper, graphite, bauxite, which is used for aluminium, manganese. These are all the critical minerals. And then all kinds of rare earths. Next time we'll show pictures. So these are the minerals that are needed if we want to meet our goal towards combating climate change. If we need these things for our renewable energy, solar, wind, etc. And then these electric vehicles that Tesla and Co are building. So you need them in the batteries that they are using. You need them for flat screen monitors, mobile phones, even in telecommunication and defense. So we need a lot of these minerals.
And we're saying that Ghana has enough.
Oh, yes. So,
and it's been proven that
yes, so let me go through the list again. Typically, you need lithium, nickel, cobalt, manganese, zinc, vanadium, all kinds of rare earths, copper, particularly copper, you've got the charging stations. So then to answer your question, what do we have? And what is the geology looking like for us in Ghana? So we have lithium in commercial quantities. Lithium is so critical. Currently, the biggest producer is Australia. And China is moving so fast. China has no more than 8% of the world's reserves. If you look at the situation right now, the midstream and downstream, which I'll discuss in our next segment, they dominate everything. About 44% of the chemical plants, the carbonates and hydroxide that are produced is done by Chinese, even the cells. They are actually in there. We'll talk more about that. What do we have in Ghana? We found lithium now in commercial quantities. We have one of the finest projects on earth. Very sweet project. So you find it somewhere in Ewoya, in Fantiman municipalities. That's about 125 kilometers from Accra. And it's one of the big 4 that Minister talked about. So we have that. Apart from that, our geology looks prospective for lithium. Parts of Eastern region, some other areas of Central region, Ashanti, all the way up north.
Potentially, how much are we talking?
If you need to put in money. The Fanti says, this Ewoya project, about 7 years now. And they spent millions of dollars to come this far. Okay? So people are doing exploration. We will discuss more. So lithium we have. Now, one of the other critical minerals, or if you like, green minerals, or technology minerals, or energy transition minerals is manganese. We have a lot. So you go to Nsuta, Western region, we have it. It's been there for years now. We should be thinking of how to add value. That's why our policies and programs will change soon. Then if you go to where my minister comes from, Savannah region, there's a place called Seripe, and then in Treso. It sounds Akan anyway, but they are doing a lot of exploration for manganese, and it's looking prospective. So we have lithium, we have manganese, and then we also have found graphite. Graphite, in fact, they use 10 times more graphite in the batteries than even lithium. So if you go to the outskirts of Wa, the company initially was looking for gold, and then they found graphite. And typically under Ghana's law, if you are given a license to explore for mineral A and you find B, you are allowed to add or and announce it to us, and then we can ask you to add it. So there's lithium, there's manganese. Manganese is being produced, more exploration is ongoing. Lithium has been found, very soon will go into production. Graphite is being explored. So these are the ones that we have. Then there is also potential for other ones like copper, cobalt, lead, zinc, and coal in where I come from, Oti and Volta. So we need to do more survey, more exploration. We need to look for money for geological survey or allow private people to do it. So that is a state of play. And the question then is, are we ready? Yes. We are now designing our policies and programs in such a way that we don't allow what we've been doing to go for the past 100 years to continue. In other words, we don't want a situation where people will come and dig this stuff and take them away. For instance, you need about 7 to 8 tons of the lithium concentrate to produce a ton of the, what do you call it, carbonate or the hydroxide, the chemical that we'll be using. So it means that we need to position ourselves to take advantage of the midstream and the downstream. We will come to that. But by and large, that is it. If I can summarize, I'm saying that the world is now moving towards
greener energy.
What do you call it? Cleaner sources of energy. Because we have realized over the years that the kind of energy that we've been using to, power our vehicles, give us power for our homes, industries, etc., are very dirty. They are creating problems for us, so-called climate change. We use a lot of fossil fuel, petroleum, gas, and coal. Coal is the dirtiest. And some of the most industrialized countries are using coal. I mean, America is still using coal. I'm told about 19%. South Africa, which is the most industrialized country in Africa, is all coal. China burns a lot of coal. US has 224 coal-fired plants. Australia is all coal. Europeans have done very well by phasing out coal, but recently they've gone back because of the Russia-Ukraine war. So Germany has a particular very dirty coal. They call it lignite. They are burning them. But when they set targets, they'll meet them. So if we want to combat climate change, it means that we got to adopt cleaner energy technologies. That is a connection and a link there. And this cleaner energy technology requires certain minerals. That's why we call them green minerals, critical minerals, or if you like, energy transition minerals.
While we talk about being green and keeping green and lessons we are learning from gold mining has also brought us the unpleasant menace of Galamsey.
And money too.
And it's also showed us what we should not do. Are these critical minerals mined the same way as gold? And what steps are being put in place to ensure that we don't see this down the line when it comes to mining of these critical minerals?
Nobody is doing Galamsey for lithium in a way. Method of mining depends on the mineral. Copper and some other ones may be mined in a particular way, but this one, the method they are going to use may be fundamentally different from the way we mine gold. They are not going to use this carbon in leach technology. Perhaps I will come and speak to it the more. Tema, if you ask me, for me, what is a thing that we need to do? This mine, if it goes ahead, and definitely go ahead, will cost us $125 million. Okay? Our job is to ensure that at least $100 million of this cost of building the mine, the bulk of which will go into goods and services. We procure the items here. That's the first thing. So they are caught by the local content. So the contract mining, catering, and all those things they'll be doing there, they will take it from this money. So we are ready for them. That's one. Two, you see, if you look at the law, LI 2431, it says local content and local participation. Beyond the goods and services that we have to ensure that this $124 million mine, everything is procured from here and they don't bring it from outside. We also have to benefit in terms of ownership. So you heard the MIF boss. He says they are going to take some equity in it. Do you understand that? And he has said it publicly. So we're going to end up sovereign money. So they are going to get involved there. Apart from that, the state also has some interest, etc. So in terms of state and Ghanaian participation, it is going to go up if what MIF and what we are designing are anything to go by. So that is one. What we need to be careful about and what we need to be ready for, which my minister keeps echoing and rehashing and re-emphasizing, is the midstream and downstream. Excuse me. That is what, as a nation, we've not done too well. This time we are ready. So, for instance, when they mine the raw lithium, they will turn it into a concentrate. The concentrate has to be put in a chemical plant to process it. We need to ensure that we have strategies in place to ensure that those things are done here to produce either the carbonate or the hydroxide, which is now used for the batteries and all those things. So that is it. And then, of course, what I keep talking about is that we have to get them to list on the stock exchange, because that is the law of Ghana now. Since 2020, it says that at least 20%. So they will definitely list on the stock exchange. That is the law. It's a new project. We have to ensure that most of them, the $125 million amount, which will go into goods and services, contract mining, civil works, and all those things, are done by Ghanaians. That they don't bring people from outside to come and do their job, and then they don't import most of these goods and services. So we are learning our lessons, and then we also have to enhance state and Ghanaian participation.
And whilst we open the net, widen the net so that we can catch more, are we thinking about providing markets so that some of these raw materials will be able to use them in the country? Gold, for example, conversations around where's the gold market like we have in other countries. We are not able to have a space where gold is traded and people can buy it as and when they please. Is there a plan for these critical minerals?
So let me give you an example. Sometimes some of these minerals, they come with other minerals, or we call them associated minerals. So, for instance, you can find copper and gold together. You can find even uranium. If you look at the gold mines in South Africa, it's a byproduct. Now, fortunately, contained in this project, apart from the lithium, there is this, FESPA. Okay? High quality, high premium. And the ceramics industries need it. They need it to produce ceramics and all those things. So right now, we have another source, another mineral, which will become so the first part there will be used as a source of raw material. And then there is quartz there that can be used for glass factory. So we can have 1D, 1F for a glass factory in Ewoya or in the Mfantsima municipality. So you don't only have lithium in there, there is FESPA, which is a raw material for ceramics, so they will not export it. There are ceramics factories here that can buy them, like the one in Chamban, Twyford, and other ones are there. Or they could set up, not necessarily the company, but somebody can set up a factory, to process or to manufacture ceramics and other ceramics products using the FESPA from that side. Ceramics, you normally use 5 products. You use FESPA, kaolin, tack, limestone, and coal and clay. So that could be a source of a major factory for ceramics. Then there's quartz in there for a glass potential. So 3 things can happen there. The lithium itself, which is on its own, we need to get a midstream and downstream right. Then I'm saying there's high quality premium. High quality. Not even, look, the one at the factory in Chamban that I said they have the gas pipeline. They buy a lot of FESPA to make their tiles. They get it from Shama and around central region there. That is not as high quality like this one. So there's ready market. So we should be thinking of some kind of a factory to use a FESPA to produce ceramics. And also the quartz there for a glass factory. Because Aboso, that should have happened, Aboso glass factory, that should have happened since Kwame Nkrumah time, never happened. So this is an opportunity. And then of course, what do we also do with the lithium in terms of the processing? We will do that. But ahead of that, we need to look carefully at state and Ghanaian participation. Already MIF is pitching camp. We need to ensure that they list on the stock exchange. They have to list at all costs. And also ensure that the $125 million that they said they are going to use to build the mine, which will be going to goods and services, are procured here. So we are getting ready. We are actually ready for them.
We're expecting the 1.7 million.
$125 million. That is what they said they will use to build the lithium mine.
That's a lot. So how much are we?
A lot of it will go into goods and services. Okay. There'll be civil works, okay? Haul roads. They'll build bungalows. They'll build structures. They'll provide catering services for workers on site. They'll procure insurance. You understand that? So it's quite interesting.
So you see your final remarks.
It's among the big four. Final remarks. It's been good all our life. Good. We now have an opportunity to diversify our mineral resource base. If you look at the mining policy of Ghana 2014, which we are reviewing now, in the policy says that we should also look at other minerals so that we diversify from gold. And lithium is an opportunity. Fortunately for us, as we speak, we have almost about 4 of the so-called energy or technology or green minerals. So there's manganese. We got to work hard in getting a smelter. It's not easy. That could cost about $1 billion. And then there's graphite exploration going on. Results are looking very good. There's lithium now. And then there's manganese. Potential for copper, chrome, and other base metals that are needed to feed this green technology all exist in Ghana. Our job is to ensure that we design the right policies and provide the right framework for the state to benefit. So we have learned our lessons, from over 100 years of gold mining. That is it.
And now we are ready to go in a new direction. Green energy, green minerals, green technology, and energy from minerals in a safe and responsible manner. That's the direction of this new sector, and we are talking critical minerals. Mr. Issei has told us about lithium, nickel, cobalt, all those other things that are expected to come on board as a result of the exploration of these minerals. Opportunities abound in this space, so let's position ourselves. If you want to be a part of this, you know that you can reach out to the Minerals Commission across all their social media platforms. Just look for Minerals Commission Ghana. Mr. Martin Kwekwei is the CEO of the Minerals Commission. Thank you so much for
Before we go, they are going to do contract mining. Yes, it means they are not going to do it themselves. And Minerals Commission has put contract mining on the list. That is for Ghanaians. It's as simple as that. So we are ready for them. Ready.
It's the word, and you should be ready as well. Reach out to the Minerals Commission and also follow our social media handles, GTV Ghana. We want to send some massive birthday shouts to Mrs. Gloria Holmes Graves, head of the Public Relations Department of the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. And this shout is coming to you from all of us on The Breakfast Show, particularly from Edward Nyako in the GBC newsroom. All of us are just wishing you, Mrs. Holmes Graves, a happy birthday. The Breakfast Show returns after this break. Please stay with us.